sort of potentially complicated character with bomb loops and screen positioning. So let's say for him, his medium auto combo. When you press medium, if you just press medium, whatever, the second time, he does a masenko and he shoots it at the ground and it bounces the guy off the ground, right? And see, you're going to roll with me here for a second, right? The second kind of masenko, he shoots the laser beam straight across, right? And again, this isn't, I know it might kind of cheapen it for people that want him to have a masenko as a laser beam, but neutral-wise, obviously this character was not supposed to have it. So again, roll with me. Normally, he'll just do a masenko where he shoots the ground, right? Keeps the guy right next to you for whatever you want to do. Blah, 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 something like that. If you press forward in the medium when he does it, he shoots the laser beam and it shoots the guy across the screen. And if you press down and you, after the medium when you do it, or down and the medium, he'll shoot the masenko straight up and it shoots the guy in the air. And I'm making this distinction because Teen Gohan is potentially, I'm trying to like work it into this character's sort of archetype of being very kind of specific in screen positioning with bomb loops. And I would like this character to have more combos where you're trying to hit these kind of late hitting flying kick combos. Do you know what I mean? More opportunities to hit, I forget exactly, man, I've done so much in this fucking game, you know, whatever. Oh, God, I'm trying to think of what is a great, I've done so many crazy combos with this character, but God, I probably should have thought this more through before I started this, right? But anyway, the medium auto combo, he can have 3 different versions, and they all shoot the guy in different directions that allow you to adjust your screen positioning. Like, oh, maybe I'm trying to hit this flying kick here. Maybe the straight across laser beam masenko that hits there. Maybe, say it hits so many times. So let's look at this like screen here if you can kind of look. Let's say each block is one of the hits. If you're up close, 1 hit. 2 hits would be here. 3 hits would be here, 4 hits would be here, 5 hits would be there, right? Once you cancel the move into the special move, this flying kick, say whatever hit the laser beam was at, the explosion happens. So then you're like trying to actually time literally late hit flying kicks for, and you know, you can do double flying kick combos, you know, like boom, boom, that shit works, right? That's what I'm trying to think of weird ways. And then if he's up close, maybe you can get some different kind of bomb loops if it's like relevant to that situation, or if you're trying to get the guy higher in there. Whatever the case is, hopefully you get a little inkling of what I'm getting at, because I think every character should have a unique normal with the medium. I know it's kind of a cheap pop, but it's a different way to put in the masenko without making it a true laser beam, and it also kind of goes with the character of having kind of weird combo routes of being able to go for different stuff. For the character, what would his new move period be? I think something, and again, this is going to sound really fucking stupid and really weird, but I've said this before, I am not against the idea of really wacky and weird sounding moves when it's a tag team game, because you have the excuse to do weird, wacky kind of tag team moves because there's other characters that compensate, right? And the opponent is also compensating for your weird shit. So Gohan, I would give him a really weird move for his new move because honestly, I like how the character is already. Of course, let's not get into too much frame data stuff. You know what I mean? I'll say one frame data or sort of like nuance of his moves, because I think just the game changing, the normal kind of changes I've talked about, counter hits being real. Oh, when Gohan into the counter hit DP now, you actually get a juggle off that. Well, imagine he like flew in the air and then I got a juggle, you know what I mean? I think just the regular system changes would help him with that little bit stuff there. His weird move that I would give him, weird lure move, you're going to be like, Clayton, this sounds really fucking weird, but roll with me here. Because I would say that, you know how Tien has that move where Chaozu comes out and Chaozu blows himself up and he can only use it once around? I would say Gohan has a move, and I don't know how much super it would cost. It wouldn't be a level 3, I don't think, but maybe let's just say it's a level 1. Gohan just stands right there. Goku comes out. I know Goku could still be on your team. I know this is very nerdy. I'm not against nerdy moves in a video game. Roll with me. Excuse me. Goku comes out, and you know how Goku sacrificed himself to kill Cell, and then Cell didn't die? He just teleported next to the guy. He teleported out, and the guy flew away. Gohan, let's say, has a level 1 super where Goku just pops up, and he stands up right next to the guy, and he just teleports him off the screen. He's like, goodbye, Gohan. He just disappears. And then Gohan is listening like, no, daddy, no. whatever, right? And it doesn't instantly kill the guy, but the guy can no longer be used for 30 seconds, right? That guy. So you know what I mean? Kind of like, it kind of like snaps the guy out automatically wherever they are, takes a super, and that guy, you just can't use him for 30 seconds. Takes a super, does 0 damage, doesn't do anything. That's my genius idea. And you can only use it once around. It'd be very funny if Goku is still on your team, so Goku's doing that. Announcers could make fun of it, but that is because I like how Gohan is, to be honest with you. I think he has a lot of room. You know what I mean? He has a lot of kind of like cool kind of, screen awareness stuff. And I think just the regular game system of how I said I would change the game would help him. Lore-wise, I don't think you can give him a Masenko. I think giving him a legitimate laser beam Masenko is just homogenizing the game. If we're talking about, I don't want to get too much into frame data, exactly what I would do with him. Again, I've said before, I wouldn't make this move a laser beam because I like the idea of reflecting, the tug of war between reflecting, homing, dashing, that kind of stuff. But I do think potentially the ground version of the move, maybe if you hold down the button, he does a little bit delay before he throws it, and the ground version counts as a laser beam. That would be the only version of that move that I would potentially allow that to count as a laser beam, so the guy just doesn't get to reflect it for free, because it's slow. So maybe, what is this move? Like 40 or something? 34? I'm sorry, it's 34. Maybe let's say he charges up just a little bit. Maybe it's like 40 or something when he's close. It doesn't know, like 6 frames, he just charges up just a low slight delay on the ground, and he shoots a laser beam, and then you got to hold that one. That might, again, I think this move, it's too versatile, all the air versions, to actually make that as a laser beam. I don't like that idea. So, but I do think the ground one, in terms of a legitimate property change, potentially you could hold that down and make that count as a laser beam for the first hit. I think that is not not in the realm of possibility of what you could do with the character. And then for the rest of the stuff, you know what I mean? Just, again, I don't want to talk too much about frame data stuff, but, you're just fixing. I think that move could be, you shouldn't have to space that move to be 1. You could really change the fiddling of the. Like, I would give these moves a few better frames for sure when I think about these moves. I think this should be more of a spacing thing. That it's like legitimate. That is the guy is encouraged. They want to reflect and homing dash out of this. And that is also the deterrent, right? Because, well, if you guess, whatever, right? And then again, counter hits, just easily counter hit DP. What an obvious change to combo off it. But only new move. I know it sounds really wacky, but I would give him a level 1 super. He can only use it once. Goku will come out, and he just teleports to where the guy is, and he teleports them away. And the guy disappears for like 30 seconds. No damage, but then the next opponent comes out, and then they don't have access to that assist for 30 seconds or some shit like that. I think that sounds really weird and wacky. And of course, with real block damage, I'm sure there would be shit like, oh, you did a level 1 super after a big combo, then the guy came out, and you're like, oh, well, fuck, I had a super here, boom, you automatically had to take all that real block damage, right? I'm sure there could be tons of weird strategies like that. You could make that super, God, say the level 3 version of that, or level 5, whatever, you just hold, that does like 40% block damage. You're like, 40% block damage? Yes. I am not against weird and wacky, maybe almost broken at face value kind of stuff when you got weird shit like that. Plus, again, I would be giving some characters, like I said, even Goku, I think the instant transmission super should be frame 1 invincible. So, say he was versing a character like Goku. Well, he can do the instant transmission Kamehameha to get out of it. Whereas maybe not all characters have a air super that is a level 1 to get out of something like that. I think that could be a very bizarre strategy you could do, right? Just think of all the weird implications you could do with it. Very weird, but you know what? That would be a weird thing I would give this character without getting too complicated with him. For base Vegeta, what is something weird if I wanted to give this character 1 new move? And again, when I was talking about laser beam stuff, God, this character, he has that, I think it's called the final crash that he does versus Raccoon. Such a, what a great villain he was at first, right? Man, he really made, you know, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was pretty cool at one time, right? You know what I mean? I feel like some of the ideas were pretty cool. It was a fun series at once. Super is just such a fucking fuck me, but Base Vegeta was a great villain at one time. He's got so many fucking cool moves. But again, we're talking about laser beams. I love laser beams, but you know what? Final Crash, whatever, that's cool versus Raccoon. So many different moves, but what would be the new move that I think you could give Vegeta? Again, because we're going off of, we want to give characters different kind of gimmicks to make them not homogenized. So what I would do for Vegeta, I think is one move is, say you press down, down, key blast, right? And you could make it really slow. And you know when he first fights Goku and he charges up that little white ball and he throws it up in the air and then explodes and then he turns into, you know, the great ape form, whatever. So say give him this move, right? Doesn't have to cost a super or anything. You know what I mean? But it's so slow that you can only realistically pull it off if you're to do, like, say, a smash or something like that. Whatever. Smash, that would give you time to, like, throw it off. Say, I don't know. Say it's like 30, 40 frames. It's fucking slow. You know what I mean? You don't get anything off it, whatever. But once he throws the ball, you know what I mean? He gets two different supers. So he still has this super as a level 3, whatever. But then he also has another super when the ball is out where he turns into the great ape, and it's like one of the most damaging level, like, so what I would do, I would actually say something like this personally. I don't want people to think I'm toning him down, but I think the super does like 42% or something, right? So to say this does 42, I would make this super maybe do 40 or something like that. And I would also say, because, you know, I know people want the Okis in there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Say he has two different versions just of the level 3. As it is, this one, this only does 40 now, right? But if you're holding down the two buttons, I've talked about this before. I kind of like the idea that they did with Roshi, how Roshi has that little, you know, capsule super, the bin super, just like how I said I would give Majin Buu has that one super. Maybe it's level 3. If you're holding down the two buttons the whole time, that tags the guy out after it. You know what I mean? Make it do 40, something like that, 39, 40. So you can choose, do you want to get the Oki or do you want to tag the guy out after it, whatever. But then if during the match you have shot the little ball out, which again, make it slow, 40 frames plus or something to shoot out. So, you know, you're committed to the move. You know what I mean? God, 40, 50 frames, who knows what it is. You're committed to the move. But once you throw that super out there, his level 3, who knows? Maybe it does 45, 46. It's one of the most powerful level 3s in the game, straight up. And he turns into the great ape, does a few moves on you, whatever. That is a weird idea that I think you could do for Vegeta. Basically, you know, give him one of the most powerful level 3s in the game. But he has to throw that ball out. So you know at least during once in the match, he's giving up something. And then you're making that level 3, you're making him have like a choice. And so even if the great ape form is now the strongest, then there's still the choice of, well, I also have this level 3 that can instantly tag the guy out. And then the guy's got to come in and they can go for a mix-up like that if I'm trying to tag him out. Whatever you're trying to do, that is the main idea change that I think I would do with base Vegeta to give him sort of a gimmick for the character. For his medium, his new medium normal, what could you give the character, dude? God, I had thought that maybe, you know that move versus Raccoon when Raccoon is holding him by his legs and he kind of flips around and he shoots the laser beam in the back. You know, he kind of does a little flip. You could give him medium normal, like maybe he flips around after that. He shoots the fireball in your face and then he can go for instant air dash mix-ups. But then I'm like, he already has that kind of during strings. But I guess you could. Maybe if you have an interesting idea for what his new medium normal could be during auto combos, again, I just think that's such an obvious change that the medium auto combo should not just be the same thing. And I think it's one of the easiest ways to give a character a freebie of a new move while not homogenizing the game. Does that make sense? By giving more unique medium normals. So I think that's those are two characters that, again, I know they have laser beams that they could do, but let's stay away from the laser beam shit, even though I think it's sweet and the nerd in me wants it. Those are two kind of weird gimmicks that you could add characters to help distinguish them from the cast, giving them a gimmick that not every other character has. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.